All right, Harmony Science Academy students, college prep course. Let's go ahead and get into today's lesson. Pencil, notebook, Chromebook. Again, Zig Ziglar would remind you if something goes wrong academically or in any part of life, really, point that finger at yourself. Find out what you can do about your circumstances. You got to stop pointing at other people, okay? All right. As far as vocabulary, real important, guys, is revisit polynomial long division and then polynomial synthetic division, okay? Just like that. Um, I think with that alone, you're going to understand where we're going today and why. So go ahead and take a couple minutes to do that. And indeed, we are in synthetic division, okay? We're going to divide synthetically polynomials, okay? So yes, we're still dividing, and this should look familiar, but you guys should remember, hey, some of these started taking a long time and getting kind of messy. So the whole purpose of synthetic division, in case you forgot, I think most of you guys covered it with your other math teachers, it makes this fast, a fast process, okay? So we're gonna look at two of them. One of them, really there's kind of like an easy scenario and a little more intense scenario, okay? The main thing that you gotta know is this is the one that you definitely want to master, and then if you can do this one, you'll be fine and you'll be able to do it. But this is, once you get there, you've done your job, okay? All right. So we're gonna look at 10 and 12. Let's do 10 first. Okay, synthetic division, follow along. It's the same process for both of them, okay? So the first thing you want to do is take this binomial. Okay, we're not gonna do this one, by the way. We'll do that next, okay? You want to set it equal to 0 and a equals 8, okay? Now 8, you're going to put him in a box right there, okay? Next, you're going to list the coefficients without the variables. So 3, negative 21, and negative 21, okay? So you're only dealing with numbers, which is cool, right? All right. Now, the way this works, okay, this isn't the greatest math process that I'm gonna advocate for, but again, sometimes you gotta survive in math, get it done quick, and this is gonna help you do that, okay? So once you've set it up like this, and again, you should make sure that it's the variables listed from largest exponent in decreasing order, okay? So now the first thing you do is you bring down this first coefficient, okay? These are coefficients, okay, the numbers in front of the variables. So you bring him down, then once he's down, you multiply to him. So it's that pattern, it's always drop, okay, and multiply. All right, so check this out. So it's drop, multiplied, I get 24. Now what do I do here? Before I can drop, I need to add them, okay? So I'm gonna add going down this way. All right, notice that after I dropped, I multiplied, okay? And I'm listing this because it's a pattern. So after you drop, you multiply, then whatever you get comes over here. Okay, now I'm gonna add, which is 3, and once again I go back over there to multiply, 24, and it comes over here. I add, and I get a 3, okay? All right, so believe it or not, we're pretty much done, okay? Now the one thing you've got to think about is, by us dividing an a out of all these terms, we're basically subtracting an a out. So when I write my final answer, okay, these are the coefficients for my final answer. I started off with an a squared, so the first exponent here is going to be 1 power down, okay? This is what I mean. We started, the highest one was an a squared, so this one's an a plus this, okay, this is a 1. This should be an a to the 0, but a to the 0 is 1, so we don't have to write it. Okay. Then this last part is the remainder, plus 3. Remainder, what I was dividing by, which is this guy, a minus 8. Okay. It might be a little struggle for some of you guys in the beginning. Once you do a couple of them, you'll be fine. Okay. So that's it. This is what you get after you divide this into this. Okay? All right. Now we're going to do 12. 12 is going to be the same process, but because we have an 8 up here in the front, as opposed to here, the one that we had, we're going to have to do a little something at the very end. Still fast and way faster than the other process, okay? All right, so what did we do? You can pause the video. What did we do here first? If you set this equal to 0, good. Okay, that's where you start. So you get 1/4. Okay, that guy goes in a little box here. And you can pause the video because I'm going to ask, what do I do next? Okay, I'm going to list coefficients. Again, it's x cubed, x squared, x1. There's no x0, so I'll put it in. And I continue. Okay. Luckily, they were nice and left it in the order for me. There's no constant, so I just put a 0 at the end. Okay. All right. So again, this is going to be the same process as earlier. So you can pause the video and maybe even do it yourself before I do it. But here's what happens, right? You drop. Now you multiply this with this, which is 10. You add 56. You multiply, which is 14. You add, which is minus 24. You multiply, which is 6. And then you add. Okay? Whoops. I have to be careful here. After I added, it was negative 24. 1/4 of negative 24 is negative 6. So then we add and we get negative 6. Okay? Now, again, we're pretty much done from the last process, right? So the highest exponent was an x cubed, so what's going to be the exponent for this one? If you said x squared, good. Plus 56x minus 24, and here's the remainder, right? Minus 6 over 8x minus 2. Okay. Now, before I go on to, so we're pretty much done following the steps from the other problem, okay? Now, because this one has an 8, the other one didn't, we have to do something special, but before I do that, okay, let me talk about this. You guys know to simplify fractions. So this, a 2 goes in here, in here, and here. Okay, here's what I mean. 6 is 2 times 3. And 8 is 2 times 4x. And 2 times minus 1 gives you negative 2. So why am I doing this? Because I can cancel out these two, okay? So I have 3 over 4x minus 1. Okay, this is just simplifying fractions. So don't make it more complicated than it has to be, okay? When you see a fraction like this, you should try and factor out what they have in common, okay? That's not part of the lesson, but that's just part of the way you were trained to do math. Now, when it comes to this 8, remember in the first problem we had a 1, here we have an 8. What you want to now do is you want to divide an 8 out of each one of these, okay? That's it. That's the extra step for these harder problems. Not part of the remainder, just these terms up front, okay? So then I'd have 5x squared plus 7x minus 3 minus the remainder, okay? Again, you've got this mastered by doing the first one, and then just take some time to think about this one. Other than that, we'll go ahead and catch you in class and answer any and all questions, do a couple together, and then leave you to your shoulder partners. Okay, thanks for your time.